Well, g'day, it's Tim Buchalka, the Aussie Android Dev Guy, and in today's video we're going to go ahead and install Android Studio on a Windows machine. Now if you're running a Mac or you're running a Linux machine, refer to the videos to my left where I show you how to do what we're doing in this video, but for your platform. Now the other thing you'll need to do before you go ahead with this installation is you need to have the Java Development Kit installed on your machine. Now if you don't know what that is, you're not sure if you've got it configured, or you just want to get a bit of a refresher, click on this link over there to my left hand side again and you'll be taken to a video and I go through that step by step so you really can't do anything wrong. So without further ado, now let's get into Android Studio installation and configuration for a Windows machine. Okay, so let's get started. First thing we want to go is to go to developer.android.com, click on Get the SDK, and we're going to click on Download Android Studio for Windows. Accept the terms and conditions. And click on Download Android Studio for Windows. We're going to save that. You can see we're just about done now, so I'll let that finish off and then we'll go ahead and install it. So I'm going to open it and I'm just going to double click it and start it. Run it. Yes, obviously we're okay with running it. Then we'll go through the setup. So I'm here on this screen. I'm going to leave the first two activated. Well, the first one we haven't got a choice. Android SDK we definitely want. I'm going to turn off the Android virtual device. You'll normally want to have that on. I'm turning it off just to save a bit of time on the video. But you'll need that to be able to emulate and to play Android apps, or run them I should say, on your Windows machine. Click on Next. Click on I agree. And just note the directories where it's going to be putting the SDK. You may need to refer to that in the future, so it's a good place to know. Obviously the installation of the program is fairly standard, but you can see there it's in the app data local Android SDK folder. So may need that later. Click on Next. And we're just going to go ahead and install. Okay, installation was complete. We're going to click on Next. And we're going to just close and we're going to let Android Studio open as well. Okay, so you can see it's now checking for updated SDK components. So there's a base SDK that's included in that large download, but now it's just looking for anything that's been updated on Google servers since that package was put together. So that'll take a few more moments. So I'll just pause the video here and let it do its thing. Okay, because he's just finishing off and everything is now up to date. I'm going to click on Finish. So just a few other things to show you. Click on Configure. We'll go into Project Defaults. Go into Project Structure. Now that's there. I want to show you the locations. Now you can see here, in fact, what it's done, it's installed or it's configured the JDK 1.7, and that's because I had a version 1.7 on this machine and then I updated, so it didn't automatically find the 1.8. Best practice would probably be to make sure you're running version 1.8. So I'm just going to go into there and I'm going to go into the Java folder because there'll be another folder there. You can see JDK, and I'm just going to specify the JDK folder and click OK. And then we know that I'm running the latest version, the JDK 1.8. So you may already be running that, but that's what I needed to do just to make sure. And again, this is if you ever need to know how to find your Android SDK location, you can find it on this screen. Okay, click OK to close that down. Now, just another thing to show you, click on back there. You can go back into SDK Manager here at any time if you like. And it's good to do that on a regular basis because you can see what Google have actually updated, because they do update their SDK on a regular basis. And what you can do is if you decided you wanted to access some of this stuff, you could. So I'm going to deselect all. Just open this up so we can see it a bit better. Now some of the things you'll probably want is some of these images. Now I haven't actually installed any images because I mentioned earlier that I turned off the option to download the emulators. Now you've got two options here. You've got an ARM image. Well, you've actually got three options: ARM image, an Intel x86 Atom_64, and just an Intel regular x86. Just to be clear, the ARM is the default system image, and that's for computers. Probably if you've got 4 gig or even 6 gig or less of RAM on your computer, you'll probably you'll only be able to use that one essentially. But if you have got more, if you've got 8 gigabytes or more of RAM, you can select one of these. Now 64-bit doesn't mean 64-bit doesn't correlate to the 64-bit CPU on your computer. What it means is it's the 64-bit edition of Android. So you generally won't need that because that's only new with Android Lollipop. Just this one here would be fine for in most cases. Now just in terms of that memory, if you have got 8 gigabytes of RAM or more, select the Intel x86 Atom system image, but then also you want this one here, this Intel x86 emulator haxm. Now you can see it's already been installed by default by the system when we configured it, but if it's not selected, make sure you do select that. And just while we're here, a few other things. Google Play, so if you're intending to use Google Play services for leaderboards and achievements, you'll need to click on that, and any of these other things that are relevant, you'll also want those as well. Now the Google USB driver is if you're running a Google device like a Nexus 4 or a Nexus 7, click on that so that the USB can connect automatically. Now, if you haven't got one of those devices, if you've got like a Motorola or a Samsung or something like that, you'll need to find the USB driver for Windows for that device and install it on this computer, because you'll need that in future videos when we go ahead and start running it. Now that's of course if you've got a physical Android device. If you haven't got a physical Android device, obviously you don't need a USB driver. Okay, so moving back up to here. So again, you'd select the relevant image. ARM, again, if you've got 6 gigabytes of RAM or less, I suggest ARM only. If you've got more than that, choose the Intel x86 Atom system image. And again, anything else that is updated, that has previously been installed, you'll get a message here to say update. You just click it literally, then you come over to here and then you click on install packages. Now that's not activated at the moment, of course, because there's no update, and because it's installed, the only option is delete. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. And just another good point, I'd also suggest you turn on and install the sources for Android SDK. It is installed now by default, but just in case it isn't, it's a great way to sort of see the source code that the programmers have used to put together the Android SDK. It's fantastic coding, and it can really help your coding as well, looking at professional code. Finally, just want to talk the SDK platform and the Google API. You'll notice there's two essentially the same things. You might be wondering, why is there two there? Well, the Sdk platform is the standard Android SDK. The Google APIs is basically an extension. It's that, and it's also Google specific functionalities such as Google Maps and so forth. So anything relating to Google functionality. So it's good to have both, and you can see by default Google have kindly installed both for us. So that's SDK Manager. Let's close that. And lastly, I just want to go through and show you updates, how to get into updates. So we'll go back to settings. We're going to scroll down to the bottom and go to updates. You've got an option here. You've got a stable channel. In fact, if I click on check now, there'll probably be an update. There is. I'm going to click on update and restart just to show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. Go on yes. The good thing about it is Android is patched, so it's not downloading the whole thing for each version, which is no good for us all. You can see it's starting down there at the bottom. Okay, so that's now restarted. You can see down here, I've got version 1.0.2. Now I went into settings before, going into configure and clicking on settings, but I can also go down here in a quick way, just click on check to see whether there's an update, and then from there I can click on updates, which takes us to the same area that we saw previously. Now what I wanted to show you was the different versions here. So you've got stable channel. So now it's not possible to do a check because we've got the latest version. But there's three other options, beta, dev and canary. And essentially these are different versions, or gives you the capability to download different versions of Android that may not be as stable as obviously the one that's called stable. So I like to choose beta depending on how you pronounce it, because that's more up to date. It's more recent, so we can't actually do an update at the moment, because we've only just recently done one. I think that time's out and there'll be a few moments before we can do it again. But if I were to do another update now, there would in fact be another update available to us. And that's because these updates haven't been fully tested and they're released on a more regular basis than the stable version. So I suggest you set it to beta, because you usually won't have any problems, because if you know anything about Google, you know that they're forever having products in beta, which can be literally in beta for years. So suggest leaving that to beta and you'll be good to go. And that's a wrap. We've now gone ahead and installed and configured Android Studio, and we're up and going, and you're ready to start creating some Android apps. Please subscribe to my channel. Click on the subscribe button to the left over there and be kept up to date with videos as I'm coming out and releasing them on a regular basis for all things Android. Please also check out my Android Lollipop course. Over 11,000 or close to 11,000 students have already taken it up. 25 hours plus of video training there, teaching you how to become a great Android app developer. Now, speaking of content, please also get back to me, let me know what you thought of this video, but also what you'd like me to cover in future videos, because I'm here to create a great channel for Android app development. So I need to know some of the things that you're stuck with, that you'd like me to cover, that you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll do my best to address those. Lastly, check out some of the videos down the bottom left hand there, up to my left and sort of down a little bit, and you'll see that there's videos there you can click to get to find more Android app goodness. Okay, so this is Tim Buchalka, the Aussie Android Dev Guy, signing out, and I'll see you in, wait for it, the next video. Cheers for now.